Back here with Athletic Director Graham Rossini. It's Sun Devil Extra presented by Spring Hill Suites, Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Graham. Time for a segment we have grown to know and love. It's time for Ask the AD, where Sun Devil Nation can voice some questions to you, and we've seen it already. You love to answer them. Sometimes maybe these questions could turn into reality. Who knows? No promises. First one is from @WillJasper24, who is a second-time asker.
I like it.
Yes, he is very engaged with the program, so thank you, Will, for doing that. He asks, with the naming rights deal on DFA expiring soon, what are order of priorities with Desert Financial Arena? I know you wanted to squash a misconception of that question.
Oh, yeah. Actually, Desert Financial Credit Union re-upped a couple years ago. I got the privilege of being a part of that partnership, and I think we've taken them out for another 10 years or so. We're in that deal now, but tremendous partner of the Sun Devils. Shout out to Desert Financial. They've been an incredible part of our success here these last couple years. We're talking about the arena every single day, and there's hopefully some news that we'll share before the end of the basketball season, but daily conversations on how do we elevate the experience at Desert Financial Arena. That comes in all forms of the fan experience, the player experience, the media experience, and so we're going to get it right. We're going to get one crack at addressing the things that need to be improved in the facility, and we've got a lot of people throughout the university working very hard on that. So something near and dear to all of our hearts. We understand that that's an area that we need to improve upon, and we're hard at work working on those plans. Complicated when there's a lot that goes into thinking about the future of our facility, but we want to get it right on behalf of our players and our fans, and we're talking very often in great detail about what that could look like.
Perfect. Second question for you comes from @StephenPatMitt, and this is regarding uniform changes. This one intrigued me a bit because I'm a uniform guy, and I know you kind of teased already. There are some fun things going down. This is about football uniforms specifically, but baseball uniforms, that's close. And I know there was a rumor of some gold outlines, jerseys that you talked about on X last week. Uniform news, what do you got?
Well, there's a lot of uniform news coming, and I enjoyed it as well. I've been lucky in my career to be a part of some uniform decisions and got to do some old school baseball jerseys back in the early 2000s, the cream Devils that I think we launched in 2004. Pedroia is probably the most famous player to wear that. They still wear a version of that today. We got to Omaha in that uniform. I got to do City Connect with the D-backs when I was there, and Serpientes and some other uniforms. So I enjoy the topic as well. We've got some really exciting baseball and softball jerseys that are coming out right now. Some of them have already hit retail. I think that's probably what we showed on Twitter last week was it's called the Gold Standard. And Adidas has it on their website. Some of our local retailers do as well. We've got some cool ideas in the hopper for basketball in the next couple of seasons. We'll have a new set of football uniforms this fall as well, totally new set with the new chassis and kind of core styles, and then a really cool tribute uniform for a team that I think our most diehard fans will agree deserves some recognition of a pretty amazing 1975 season. So, a little teaser there, but a lot of excitement happening in uniforms. I think the one part that maybe most fans don't recognize is uniforms are talked about 2, 3, 4 years out sometimes, and there's a lot of conversations with what will debut in the fall. That's been in the works for a couple years now. A lot of people are asking about fan feedback. I love that idea. Maybe the fan design uniform or fan design input that we take into account with what we do next in uniforms. Those are some really good suggestions that we're talking about how to incorporate that in. But in some ways, we've got a great partner in Adidas that's really starting to find their stride in building incredible uniforms, and some of the little details that they can incorporate, the nods to great teams, the nods to great moments, but also putting kind of a new school spin on where they go next with it. So, we got a lot of pretty exciting uniform news in the hopper. Baseball and softball, we first out the gate.
Sure.
We're talking about evolution in hockey uniforms with CCM, who's come in this year and done a terrific job. But I think we're lucky in between Adidas and CCM, our apparel providers who do all of our uniforms. We've really got the best-in-class group working on it, and a lot of feedback from our players. With football specifically, there's a lot of questions about what we're going to wear. That's a Pat Tillman Leadership Council conversation, and it's really important that the football leadership has a big voice in what we do for uniforms, and we hear you loud and clear. Sparky on helmet, I agree. Sparky's our mascot. We love Sparky. We're trying to find ways to incorporate Sparky into uniforms or retail. The pitchfork will continue alongside that. I think there's a place for both logos. And that's really important for a lot of people here at ASU. So lots of excitement on what we wear on field, in arena, on the ice coming soon.
Well, and I want to give a shout out to the equipment staff, not just with football, but with every sport.
Oh, yeah.
And, they put in so much work. And I know, like you said, it's the Tillman Leadership Council for football that ultimately decides what the team's wearing, but they have to get the helmets ready. They have to prepare the jerseys, the pants, everything that goes into it. We're going to talk more about that in later episodes, maybe do an episode fully.
That'd be a fun conversation.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think those are superstars in our building.
Yeah.
Brian Harrod came over from Nebraska this year to run football operations. Him and Arthur do a terrific job, with their student team. Laura Foster got promoted in our department to oversee athletic equipment operations outside of football this year. Well-deserved promotion for Laura. She's killing it here in the department. And they've got a number of great people. Paul Lopez has been in the department for decades, does a terrific job, and building out great teams underneath them that help support it. And that's really the behind-the-scenes part of running a department. But there's so much coming and going with uniform orders, 26 sports, moving teams across the country, getting information on recruits coming in, certainly in the portal era. So a great shout out. I think that'd be a pretty cool show to do on kind of the behind the scenes of what goes into running an equipment operation, because it's like an orchestra, and it's really impressive and really a special talent that this team has that they bring into to their jobs every single day.
Bunch of teases in that answer and into that question, but that will happen without a doubt. Okay, now time for Sun Devil for Life of the Week, and we've done this now for, a few months. I think this is probably my personal favorite one we have ever done. Take it away, Graham.
Yeah, Sean's going to pop up the photo. Got to be in New York City last weekend for the annual Baseball Writers Award dinner. Pat Murphy, who was my coach here, I spent 8 years with Coach as part of our baseball program, got NL Manager of the Year, so it was great to be there for him. I was there with his family and just, touched that I could be there in support of him. He's done so much for me in my journey, in my career, and so it's pretty cool. He's the only person in the history of baseball, 160 years of professional baseball, to be an NCAA Coach of the Year and an MLB Manager of the Year.
Wow.
Never happened before. And so for him to get his deserved recognition in New York City was great. And then, oh, by the way, Barry Bonds happened to be there, hence the photo. And so Barry was there to pay tribute to Willie Mays, who passed away last year, and Barry and Willie's son did a tribute to Willie in an award that the New York writers give out there. And so really wonderful night, Saturday night in New York City, and got to see a dear friend of mine in Pat Murphy and Barry Bonds, who I've been lucky to get to know over my time at ASU, and the home run king, doing well in the Big Apple.
It's the last reference to your swing, but you could have asked Barry.
No, nobody touches that swing. It's too pretty.
Fair enough. You're
it's
right.
too pretty.
No, but that was an excellent one. Shout out to Pat.
I'm a right-handed hack job. Barry Bonds has got that smooth lefty swing.
You're right. Big shout out.
My son's got a better chance. I'm gonna put that film on and let him follow that swing path.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, that was a great one. Really cool for you to be there for Pat and also run into Barry as well. Baseball is close, and those are going to be our next two episodes. Talk about softball and baseball, of course. Like we said, baseball gets going on Valentine's Day. Softball right around there as well, and so very exciting time. Spring sports coming, but plenty of action still to come. This week, of course, basketball being at home against Arizona, the main headline of the week. So for Graham Rossini, a big thank you again to Vince Amy for joining us. I'm Braden Bell saying so long from Tempe, and we'll talk to you next week.